My name is Shalakemia, and I wanted to make this video that is definitely dedicated to domestic violence awareness. And I want to start out by telling y'all a little bit about my story and, me being a survivor of domestic violence at a young age. I was in an abusive relationship at, 13, 14 years old. And I'm going to be honest, when I was in it, I really didn't understand it. And I put up with it because I thought that the person loved me, and I thought in a way that was how you expressed love. 9 times out of 10, when you're in a domestic violence situation, it has something to do with jealousy. And I always thought that, jealousy was a part of love. So, I didn't really see anything wrong with it. I am going to say that, it tore me down. I was depressed. I was scared, and I just didn't really know how to get away from it. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to deal with it, and I really didn't have anybody to talk to about it. To be honest, when I was younger, people made fun of me and, said things to me because I dealt with a domestic violence situation, and it's not funny. It was hurtful that, instead of people helping me, they talked about me and made fun of me because of it. And, that's just a little bit of my story. It went on for a while, and it was demanding, and it was jealous, and it was possessive, and, it was like my first exposure to anything like that. So I didn't know how to really handle it. So I just wanted to kind of let y'all know that, I'm speaking from experience, when I am spreading awareness about domestic violence. My domestic violence situation is basically the person went to prison. And I'm going to be honest, when this person went to prison, I was just I felt free. I really, really felt free. I didn't feel in fear anymore. I just felt like, wow, it's finally over. I did, before he went to prison, I did have people starting to reaching out to me and educating me about how it wasn't right for me to be going through that. How in a relationship, a man should never, ever put his hands on you. People explained to me that wasn't love. Things I didn't even know, they explained to me. Able to get over everything that happened to me in that abusive relationship. I was able to speak out. I'm not gonna, be fake. It wasn't right away. It wasn't a right away thing that I was able to go in front of the world and accept. Yes, I was being beat up and beat down by the hands of a man that I was in a relationship with, that I thought that loved me, and I loved him. It wasn't easy at first. Don't even get it twisted. It took a long time for me to be able to accept it and to speak about it and to even be like, yes, I was in that. Yes, I accepted that out of him. But when I did, I started advocating for domestic violence. I needed to spread the word. I needed to share my story. I needed other people to know that, listen, I've been through it too, and I can help you get through it. When you're going through something, one thing in life when you're going through something is you really don't want to hear from someone that hasn't been through it. People try to send you to counselors and things like that. And I'm not saying those things don't work. They work for some people. But when you're in something, you want to hear from someone that has been in it, that has experienced it, and that has lived it. And I know that. Because when I go through stuff, I want to hear a word from somebody that's been through it, that understands the hurt that's inside of me. That's important. I started advocating because I know the harm and the hurt that domestic violence causes. And I didn't want any teenagers or any grown women to go through domestic violence. So I started speaking out and letting people know that it's wrong. It's not love. It's not love at all. Hello, and And I want to first and foremost thank you for tuning into this video, taking your time out to listen to my story. I would like to express now my suggestion on just how I think moving forward that we can prevent some domestic violence. I have been very saddened and very hurt, and it's hit home for me the amount of women that I've heard about and read about that has lost their life to domestic violence. I don't really think people know the seriousness of domestic violence. It starts with a push. It starts with one hit. It starts with some screaming, and people overlook it. Domestic violence does not need to be overlooked. It is serious. I feel like there should be some education put in place. I do know in my area in Dauphin County, there is a domestic violence class or anger management class. I feel like, and I've suggested this before, I don't think I was really heard, but I suggested this before. I suggested that there should be an educational class that should be mandatory when a police officer is called to a domestic violence situation. I feel both parties should automatically, it should be mandatory that they both take an educational class. The victim and the aggressor should both take a class to be educated on the seriousness of domestic violence from two different views. The victim from a victim's point of view and the aggressor from an aggressor's point of view. And when I say an aggressor, what I'm saying is education can prevent something bad from happening. If the aggressor takes a class, maybe it'll save a life. Maybe they'll understand the seriousness of domestic violence and how many men are in jail for life for death by domestic violence. Maybe if they see that, that will help them from not becoming that. Maybe that will be one step from them basically changing their lives. The victims think because it's a push, a smack, they feel like, oh, it was only one time, it'll never happen again. Not true. But if a victim has the education, and maybe we can use some past domestic violence situations that have happened and highlight them, maybe the victim will take that information and be like, wow, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to end up that way. It makes some changes. I feel like it should be a mandatory thing. In that way, we can say that the criminal justice system has took the extra mile to prevent a domestic violence situation. I also feel that when people go to the welfare office or the help office or any office that helps with any type of social services or human services, I think that there should be a survey. There should be a question in there. Are you experiencing domestic violence? Would you like help? I think that's important, because people are walking around going through domestic violence situations and you would never ever know. You would never know unless you've seen it happen. There's a lot of things that happen behind closed doors. So I think that people want to cry out for help, but they need a way. They need a way to do it. So I think that if social services places start offering a survey that includes, are you in a domestic violence situation? Do you need help? I think that would help. That would be, again, going an extra mile. Those were just some things I thought of, because I feel like in my situation, if I would have been educated early on, maybe I wouldn't have went through it as long as I did. Once I did, see, what happened with me is once I did get educated, it helped me make a change. And it helped me understand. I didn't know that it wasn't love until someone told me that a man putting his hands on me was not love. I really hope that the government, these different agencies will really take what I'm saying into consideration so we can save lives and so we can intervene into domestic violence situations. It's important. The numbers are rising. The numbers are definitely rising among our teens. Did you know that there are teenage girls out here in relationships, and it's a teenage domestic violence relationship. Their boyfriends are hitting them. Parents, sit your teens down and have a conversation with them and make sure this isn't happening to them. Do not ignore any signs. This is your girl IamShalakemia. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I just felt like it was very, very important, being a survivor, to get this information out there. Thank you so much.